I never thought I'd see Jordan Hayes again, not after the way he shattered my world in college. But there he was, standing in the aisle of that crowded New York bookstore, his eyes locking onto mine with a flicker of recognition that sent ice through my veins. My heart pounded as memories flooded back. The taunts in the dorm halls, the way he'd corner me after class, whispering slurs that cut deeper than any knife. Why now, after all these years, when I'd finally built a life free from the shadows of Amherst College? I froze, book in hand, pretending to browse the latest thrillers while my mind raced. Jordan looked different, older, softer around the edges, his once athletic build now lean from what I guessed were city stresses, not football practices. He approached slowly, like he was testing the waters of a frozen lake. "Alex? Alex Rivera? It's me, Jordan." His voice was tentative, lacking the cocky edge that used to make my stomach twist. Inside, I screamed at myself to walk away, to ignore the pull of curiosity mingled with unresolved rage. But something held me there, a whisper of what-ifs that I'd buried long ago. We ended up at a nearby coffee shop, the kind with exposed brick walls and overpriced lattes, sitting across from each other like strangers negotiating a truce. He apologized first, words tumbling out in a rush. "I was an idiot back then, Alex. Scared, confused about myself. I took it out on you because you were out and proud, everything I couldn't be." His confession hung in the air, heavy with the weight of years. I wanted to believe him, but doubt gnawed at me. How could I trust the man who'd made my freshman year a living hell? The pranks, the rumors he spread about me being too flamboyant for the frat house. The night he and his buddies cornered me in the parking lot, shouting until I ran home in tears. Those weren't just mistakes. They were choices that left scars. As we talked, fragments of his story emerged. Jordan had grown up in a conservative Texas family, where being gay meant eternal damnation, or worse, disownment. College was his escape, but instead of freedom, it amplified his fears. "I liked you, Alex," he admitted, staring into his coffee. "That's why I hated you so much. You represented everything I wanted but couldn't have." My mind reeled. Liked me? The idea twisted like a knife in my gut. All those times he'd mocked my mannerisms, called me names in front of crowds. Was it jealousy masking desire? I felt a storm brewing inside. Anger at his cowardice, pity for his pain, and a dangerous spark of empathy that I fought to extinguish. By the time we parted, he'd given me his number, saying he hoped we could be friends. Friends? The word echoed mockingly in my head as I walked home to my small Brooklyn apartment. That night, alone in the dark, I replayed every torment, every sidelong glance I'd caught from him in lectures. Was there truth in his words, or was this just another game? My heart ached with the conflict. Forgive and risk reopening wounds, or hold on to the hate that had protected me for so long. Sleep evaded me, thoughts swirling like autumn leaves in a gale. The next few weeks blurred into a tentative dance. We'd meet for walks in Central Park, conversations dipping into safer waters. Jobs, hobbies, the city's endless hustle. I was a graphic designer now, thriving in a firm that celebrated diversity, while Jordan worked in finance, climbing ladders he'd never dreamed of back in Texas. But beneath the surface, tension simmered. One evening, as the sun dipped low, he reached for my hand, and I pulled away instinctively. "Why?" he asked, hurt flashing in his eyes. "Because trust isn't handed out like candy, Jordan. You broke me once." My voice cracked, revealing the vulnerability I'd hidden. Inside, I battled the voices. One urging me to run, reminding me of the therapy sessions I'd needed after college, the way I'd questioned my worth because of him. The other whispered possibilities. What if redemption was real? What if his pain mirrored mine? Society had pitted us against each other, with its rigid norms and whispered judgments. Being gay in America wasn't easy, even in progressive circles. Add internalized hate, and it became a minefield. I wondered if I was being too harsh, or if leniency would make me a fool. Our meetings grew more frequent, each one peeling back layers. Jordan shared how he'd come out after college, losing his family in the process. His father hadn't spoken to him in years. I see now how I projected that onto you, he said during a rainy afternoon in a quiet diner. Tears welled in his eyes, and for the first time, I saw the boy behind the bully, fractured and afraid. My resolve cracked. Empathy flooded in, mixing with lingering resentment. Was this love budding, or just closure? The question haunted me, pulling at my heartstrings like a persistent melody. As autumn turned to winter, small gestures built bridges. A shared laugh over bad movies, a supportive text during a rough day at work. Yet doubt lingered. One night, after a particularly honest talk about our pasts, he leaned in, and I didn't pull away. Our lips met briefly, a spark igniting old flames. Panic surged. What was I doing? Betraying my younger self? Or healing him? The internal war raged fiercer, emotions colliding like thunderclaps. The kiss lingered in my mind like a forbidden secret, replaying in endless loops as I navigated the bustling streets of Manhattan the next day. Jordan texted an apology, but I ignored it, my thoughts a whirlwind of confusion and self-reproach. How could I let the man who'd once made me dread waking up now stir something warm in my chest? It felt like treason against the boy I'd been, the one who'd cried alone in his dorm, vowing never to let anyone close enough to hurt him again. Work became my refuge, burying myself in designs for a new campaign promoting LGBTQ+ rights. Ironically, the project forced me to confront prejudices head-on, mirroring my personal turmoil. During a team meeting, as colleagues shared stories of discrimination, I found myself thinking of Jordan, not as the villain but as a victim of the same system. We all carry baggage, my boss said, and the words struck deep. Was I judging him too harshly, ignoring the growth he'd shown? Or was I romanticizing a redemption arc that didn't exist? We met again, this time at a cozy Italian restaurant in the village, where fairy lights twinkled like distant stars. Jordan looked nervous, fidgeting with his napkin. I shouldn't have kissed you, he started, but I cut him off. Why did you? My question hung heavy, demanding truth. He sighed, eyes meeting mine with raw honesty. Because I've regretted every cruel word since the day I said them. You're the one that got away, not just romantically, but as a friend I never deserved. His vulnerability pierced me, stirring a mix of anger and longing. Inside, I grappled. Forgive and open my heart, or protect it at all costs? As dinner progressed, conversations deepened. He spoke of therapy, of volunteering at a youth center for queer kids trying to atone for his past. I was raised to believe love like ours was wrong, he confessed, voice trembling. But hurting you? That was my sin, not God's. Tears pricked my eyes. His pain echoed mine from college days, when I'd hidden my identity from judgmental peers. Society's whispers, family expectations, religious dogma, workplace biases had shaped us both into survivors, albeit on opposite sides. Yet resentment bubbled up. Actions have consequences, Jordan. You can't just apologize and expect absolution. My words were sharp, born from years of suppressed fury. He nodded, accepting the blow without defense. That humility chipped at my walls, making me question my own rigidity. Was holding grudges strength, or a cage of my own making? The internal debate intensified, emotions swelling like a tide. Post-dinner walks became ritual, our talks unraveling knots. One evening, under the glow of street lamps, he shared a letter from his estranged sister, condemning his lifestyle. It hurts, but I've chosen authenticity, he said. Empathy surged. I'd faced similar rejection from distant relatives. Our shared wounds bonded us, but doubt whispered warnings. What if this was manipulation? What if history repeated? The turning point came during a heated argument in my apartment. I'd found an old college photo online, him laughing with the guys who joined his taunts. How do I know you've changed? I demanded, voice rising. He paced, frustration evident. You don't. You have to decide if I'm worth the risk. His plea hung in the air, forcing me to confront my fears. Inside, chaos reigned. Love clashing with betrayal, hope battling cynicism. We didn't speak for days, the silence amplifying my turmoil. Nights were sleepless, mind racing through scenarios. Life without him felt empty, but with him risked heartbreak. Finally, I texted, "Let's talk." We met at the Brooklyn Bridge, symbolic of crossings. "I want to try," I admitted, heart pounding. His relief was palpable, but caution tempered my joy. Emotions deepened, vulnerability exposing raw nerves. As winter deepened, our relationship blossomed tentatively. Shared holidays, quiet moments, each built trust. But shadows lingered. A mutual friend's offhand comment about Jordan's past reignited doubts. "He was rough back then," she said. I defended him instinctively, but internally questions festered. Was I excusing too much? One night, curled on the couch, he held me close. "I love you, Alex, despite everything." The words unlocked floods. Joy mingled with terror. Could I say them back? The internal struggle peaked, emotions rawer than ever. Saying, "I love you," back to Jordan felt like leaping off a cliff, the words escaping my lips in a whisper that evening on the couch. But the fall didn't end in crash. Instead, it opened a chasm of deeper vulnerabilities I hadn't anticipated. As our relationship solidified, moving from tentative dates to shared weekends, the external world intruded with its judgments, amplifying my inner conflicts to deafening levels. Friends raised eyebrows. Him? The guy who made your life miserable? Their skepticism mirroring my own lingering doubts, forcing me to defend a choice that sometimes felt indefensible. Family gatherings became battlegrounds. My parents, liberal New Yorkers who'd supported my coming out, met Jordan with polite frostiness at a Thanksgiving dinner in their upstate home. "We've heard the stories," my mom said later, pulling me aside. "Are you sure he's changed?" Her concern echoed my nightly wrestlings. Was love blinding me to red flags? Jordan sensed the tension, withdrawing into quiet apologies, but his pain only heightened mine. Inside, I torn between loyalty to him and fidelity to my past self, emotions churning like a storm-tossed sea. Society's undercurrents added fuel. At a pride event in the city, we held hands publicly for the first time, but stares from passersby, some supportive, others hostile, reminded me of college hostilities. A stranger's muttered slur triggered flashbacks, and I pulled away from Jordan instinctively. "See? This is what you once were," I accused later, regret immediate but words irreversible. He flinched, eyes filling with hurt. "I'm not that person anymore, Alex. When will you believe me?" His question pierced deeper, exposing my unforgiveness as a weapon turned inward. The argument escalated that night in our now shared apartment, voices echoing off walls. "You think I don't carry guilt?" he shouted. "Every day, I wake up knowing I hurt the man I love." Tears streamed down his face, vulnerability raw. I wanted to comfort him, but anger held me back. Anger at him, at myself, at a world that forced such reckonings. Why couldn't love be simple? My mind raced. Forgive fully, or let resentment poison us? Reconciliation came slowly, through therapy sessions we attended together. The counselor probed our histories, unearthing Jordan's abusive upbringing and my trauma-induced trust issues. "Healing isn't linear," she said, words that resonated but didn't ease the ache. Each session stripped layers, emotions intensifying, grief for lost years, hope for futures built on truth. Yet, controversies brewed. Jordan's old college friends resurfaced via social media, one posting a throwback photo with a caption joking about old times. It went viral in our circles, sparking debates. Could bullies reform? Comments flooded, some condemning Jordan, others defending second chances. I scrolled endlessly, heart sinking. This is my life now, I thought, torn between deleting it all or fighting back. The public scrutiny amplified my internal war, making every embrace feel fraught. One evening, during a quiet dinner, Jordan proposed a trip to Texas to confront his family. "I need closure, and I want you there." The idea terrified me. Facing the source of his demons? But refusing felt like abandonment. "Okay," I agreed, stomach nodding. The journey loomed, emotions swelling to new heights. Fear of rejection, desire for validation. The flight south was tense, my mind a cacophony of what-ifs. Landing in Dallas, the heat mirrored our simmering anxieties. At his parents' doorstep, Jordan's hand trembled in mine. His father opened the door, face hardening. "You're not welcome here," he said, eyes flicking to our joined hands. The rejection hit like a punch, Jordan crumbling. I pulled him away, rage boiling, for him, for us, for a society clinging to outdated hates. Back in the hotel, he sobbed in my arms. "Why can't they see me?" His brokenness shattered me, empathy overwhelming resentment. That night, holding him, I realized love's cost, bearing each other's scars. Emotions peaked, deeper than before, binding us in shared sorrow. The Texas rejection lingered like a bruise, coloring every interaction back in New York with heightened intensity, as if the wound had reopened all our buried pains and thrust them into the light. Jordan withdrew at first, his usual warmth dimmed by self-doubt, and I found myself navigating a minefield of emotions. Guilt for pushing him to confront his family, anger at their cruelty, and a fierce protectiveness that surprised me. "We don't need them," I whispered one night, holding him close, but inside, I questioned if our love could withstand such external assaults without cracking under the pressure. Work tensions escalated too. My firm's diversity campaign hit a snag when a client, upon learning of my relationship, made snide remarks about reformed homophobes. The comments spread, turning office whispers into outright debates. Colleagues split. Some championed forgiveness, others warned of naivety. "You're setting a dangerous precedent," a friend said over lunch. Her words echoed my deepest fears. Was I enabling excuses for past harms? The internal conflict raged hotter, emotions a blazing inferno. Defend our bond or admit the skeptics might be right? Jordan sensed my turmoil, confronting me during a stormy evening walk. "If this is too much, Alex, I understand." His voice broke, eyes pleading. "No," I replied fiercely, pulling him into an embrace amid the rain. "We're in this together." But doubt gnawed relentlessly. Could love conquer history's ghosts? Society's divides, political rifts, cultural clashes, mirrored our struggle, making every step feel like defiance. A turning point arrived via an unexpected invitation. A college reunion in Amherst. "We should go," Jordan suggested, surprising me. "Face the past head-on." The idea terrified yet intrigued. Return to the scene of crimes. Hand in hand? Preparations stirred whirlwinds. Anxiety over old faces, hope for vindication. On the drive up, conversations turned raw. "I hate who I was," he admitted, gripping the wheel. "But you helped me become better." Tears blurred my vision. His growth moved me, but resentment's embers still glowed. At the reunion, tensions exploded. Old classmates recognized us. Reactions mixed. Some applauded our story as inspirational, others sneered. One former buddy of Jordan's approached, smirking. "Never thought you'd switch teams, Hayes." The slur ignited fury. I stepped forward, voice steady. "He's always been on this team. Just took time to admit it." Jordan's grateful glance fueled me, but inside, chaos reigned. Pride clashing with vulnerability. The night culminated in a heated panel discussion on campus changes, where our relationship became fodder. "Can we forgive bullies in our community?" a moderator asked. Responses varied, sparking arguments. Jordan spoke up, voice trembling. "I was wrong, and I'm sorry, but change is possible." Applause mixed with boos, the controversy swirling. I watched, heart aching. His bravery inspired, yet exposed our fragility. Post-reunion, emotions overflowed. Driving home, we argued fiercely about the fallout. "You didn't have to defend me," he said. "Yes, I did," I countered. "Because I love you, flaws and all." The admission deepened our bond, but societal backlash intensified via online trolls, questioning our authenticity. "Is it real or Stockholm Syndrome?" one comment read. It stung, amplifying self-doubt. Was our love genuine or trauma-bonded? Amid the storm, Jordan proposed during a quiet Central Park picnic, ring glinting in sunlight. Marry me, Alex. Let's prove them wrong. Tears flowed. Joy warred with fear. Yes? I whispered, emotions cresting like never before. Elation, terror, unwavering commitment. Planning the wedding unearthed more conflicts. Venue debates, guest lists fraught with exclusions. My parents warmed slowly, but Jordan's absence of family hollowed him. I wish they could see us, he confided. Empathy surged, my heart breaking for him anew. As the day neared, internal monologues dominated. Was this happiness deserved? The emotional depth drowned me, each wave stronger. The wedding day dawned crisp and clear in a quaint Vermont chapel, but beneath the veneer of celebration, my mind churned with a torrent of emotions that threatened to overwhelm the vows we were about to exchange. As I stood at the altar, watching Jordan approach in his tailored suit, his eyes locked on mine with a mix of awe and apprehension, I couldn't silence the voices questioning if this union was triumph or folly. Friends and chosen family filled the seats, their smiles a fragile shield against the absent faces. His parents, old skeptics, who loomed like ghosts in my thoughts. The ceremony blurred in emotional haze. Rings exchanged, promises uttered with trembling voices. I vow to honor the man you've become, I said, words heavy with unspoken forgiveness. Jordan's response choked with tears. And I vow to earn your trust every day. Applause erupted, but inside, conflict peaked. Joy intertwined with lingering scars. Love's victory bittersweet against societal odds. Honeymoon in California brought respite, yet realities intruded. Beach walks turned confessional. Sometimes I fear I'll hurt you again, he admitted under starry skies. You won't, I assured, but doubt whispered otherwise. Our story, leaked online, sparked viral debates. Pro-LGBTQ+ outlets hailed it as redemption. Conservatives decried it as moral decay. Comments flooded. Forgiving bullies normalizes hate. The scrutiny intensified my turmoil. Was our marriage a beacon or a battleground? Back home, married life tested us. Jordan's promotion came with corporate pressures, his late nights stirring insecurities. Remember college? You chose them over truth. I snapped once, regret immediate. He recoiled, hurt deepening. I'm trying, Alex. His plea reignited the cycle. Apologies, reconciliations, emotions rawer, more profound. A crisis hit when his father called unexpectedly, voice gruff. Saw the news. Disappointed. Jordan hung up, crumbling. Holding him, I felt the weight of generational divides, societal fractures. We define our family, I said, conviction growing amid heartache. Years passed, our bond strengthening through trials. Adopting a rescue dog symbolizing new beginnings, navigating health scares that exposed vulnerabilities. Yet, controversies persisted. A podcast interview where I shared our story drew backlash, accusing me of glamorizing abuse. Did I? I agonized inwardly, emotions a maelstrom. Now, as husbands, we face daily choices. Embrace fully or let past shadows dim our light. Love's complexity unfolds, deeper with time. True or false? In matters of the heart, true redemption requires forgetting the past entirely.